Fluttershy sat on the throne that once belonged to the Nightmare King. She'd endured much to reach this point, but now she'd claimed her rightful spot as the Nightmare's ruler over the mortal realm.
That was an interesting experiment.
Turning her head, Fluttershy saw the Nightmare Lord, Frieza. He was a pale shadow of his former self, but his presence still inspired awe and fear in most mortals. His pale white tail swished back and forth as he paced the room.
Yes, it was...
Is there anything else you wanted to try?
Fluttershy smiled a wicked grin.
Nothing I can think of, do you?
No.
Good, because I don't think I could come up with anything as creative as that.
Fair enough.
So, what happens now?
Well, you have been made Nightmare Princess Consort to the Nightmare Court. From here on out, your life will be dedicated to me.
You're joking?
Am I speaking too softly? You will be my eyes and ears in the mortal world. If there are any problems or threats, you will inform me of them. Understood.
But, I thought I was the Nightmare King. I was the Nightmare King.
You will be again if you so desire. You were foolish to throw it all away. Do you still want to be the Nightmare King?
Well, no.
Then it's time to relinquish your position as it is taken from you. The Nightmare Court is mine and mine alone. Do you give up your positions willingly?
Well, no.
Then it is done. That old friends of yours. You lies have betrayed me.
No, we didn't. You have made your position impossible. You will be killed. The court will be killed. Everyone you ever knew or loved will then be torn to pieces by wolves.
That hardly seems fair.
Frieza protested.
Fair? Why should it be fair? After what your king did to me, you all deserve to be killed.
What about all your followers that we've killed? You will feel more fair when they're all standing before you.
Sighing, Fluttershy stood up.
I will see you all torn apart by wolves. I will see to that you all suffer for what you did to me.
She looked at each of the former allies and servants of the Nightmare King.
Do you have anything to say?
Tears filled the eyes of the Koopa King as he looked at Fluttershy.
It's not our fault. It's...
Fluttershy laughed.
I don't want to hear your pitiful excuses. Kill them all.
King Koopa drew his sword and charged forward. His daughter ran to meet him, and a sword fight broke out between the two of them. The rest of the court looked on in fear and awe.
Isn't this a bit dramatic?
Frieza asked.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, wolves and that.
Oh, it's very dramatic. It's been a long time since I've seen someone so foolish.
Fluttershy said casually.
You may be in another realm, but in the Nightmare Realm, they always still happily kill the traitors and be done with it.
Frieza looked around at the court.
What do you say? Do you support your new ruler?
The Nightmare Court members all looked to one another. Terrified, they all agreed in unison. Frieza nodded.
Then it's time to embrace your new position. I will kneel before you, Nightmare Queen,
he said. King Koopa ceased battling with his daughter, and they both joined the rest of the court in kneeling before Queen Fluttershy.
It is done, my queen.
Yes, it is.
She said.
You mortals.
She said, turning to the court. The court members knelt before her.
Stand, traitors.
She said. Frieza looked at the court again.
Will you stand with your new ruler?
The court members stood, trembling. Fluttershy smiled. Her nightmare powers made their fear palpable to her, and she could feel herself getting high off the fear in the air.
Now, if you dare speak against me,
she said, pointing at each of them in turn.
I will tear each of you apart.
She let her voice grow louder, filling the hall. None of them dared, and Fluttershy dismissed the entire court except for Frieza. When she looked at him, he shrugged.
This has been fun,
he said.
I've enjoyed fighting with you.
She looked at him, aghast.
What?
Well, I would have thought you of all people would have gotten behind this. A new order, a new beginning.
Oh, I'm not against it,
he said.
I'm just not into being a tool.
She stood there, stunned.
What are you talking about?
I don't think we can trust these mortals. I think they're all going to betray us in the end. It's the way of the world.
Her eyes widened in realization.
You?
She said.
Yep, I'm a realist. I've been playing this game longer than you. I don't see the reason to trust these mortals. The only way to make them trustworthy is to treat them like puppets, and that's not a way to run a court. If you don't want to use fear and intimidation, we should just get rid of them altogether. I say we kill them all and make their souls serve us.
She thought about it.
No, I can't kill them. I can't do that.
Well, then I guess we're at an impasse.
We don't have to be friends.
She said.
We can still work together.
He laughed.
You don't have a choice. The only way to survive this now is together. Think about it. When I get back, we can figure out a way to get rid of these annoying mortals, and we can throw them in the volcano. That way they'll just be another lost soul. What do you say?
They stared at each other for a long moment.
There are enough lost souls in the Nightmare Realm as it is.
She said calmly.
We don't need any more.
I guess you're right.
He said.
Well, We'll get rid of them when I become king, though.
Maybe.
she said.
But as it stands, your power is insufficient to overthrow me.
I could just kill you.
He said.
Yes,
She said.
you can.
There was a moment of silence. She turned and left. Frieza watched her leave. He thought about attempting to kill her then and there, but in the shadows he spotted the eyes of Countess Dimitrescu watching him. He decided the time wasn't right just yet. He turned back to his followers.
Let's go meet with the Nightmare Tyrant.
He said. In her private chambers, Queen Fluttershy met with Shadow Weaver, Countess Dimitrescu, and Discord, her closest allies.
Are we really going to kill the mortals?
Asked Shadow Weaver.
Of course not.
She replied.
I just need to put on the face of the Nightmare Queen to make sure they fear me properly.
Okay.
Said Shadow Weaver, unimpressed with her response.
I'm going to go talk to the Nightmare Tyrant.
Said Fluttershy, facing her friends.
Be careful.
Discord warned. She gave them a nod and left. The trio looked at each other.
She's a strange one, isn't she?
Said Countess Dimitrescu.
She's definitely strange.
Shadow Weaver agreed.
She's still immortal.
She has the blood of a nightmare.
I've heard her thoughts. She's not as stable as she seems.
If she's as powerful as she seems, we should fear her.
I'm not talking about her being dangerous.
Said Dimitrescu.
I'm saying she's unpredictable.
That's why we shouldn't get too close to her.
Said Shadow Weaver.
If we're going to follow her, then we should do it now.
Said Dimitrescu.
It's what?
Asked Shadow Weaver.
We need to prepare for when she decides to attack.
What attack?
She's going to try to kill the Nightmare Tyrant.
You can't be serious.
Discord said, shocked.
She's very dangerous.
Said Dimitrescu, unfazed.
I won't allow it.
Said Shadow Weaver.
We can't stop her.
Said Dimitrescu.
We can't kill her either.
Said Shadow Weaver.
Then we need to find a way to subdue her.
Said Dimitrescu.
We could help her.
Discord suggested.
At least to save our own skins.
No, she's too dangerous.
Said Dimitrescu.
She'll do whatever she thinks is necessary to get revenge on the Nightmare Tyrant.
We'll be dead if we don't do something.
Said Shadow Weaver.
We're already dead.
Said Dimitrescu.
Speak for yourself, fool ghost.
Shadow Weaver muttered.
I'm not the least bit dead.
I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
Said Dimitrescu.
You're a terrible shade and a terrible countess.
Said Shadow Weaver.
You're just a shade.
Laughed Dimitrescu.
You can still be my enemy, though.
Said Shadow Weaver.
No, I'm far too tired of being your enemy.
Said Dimitrescu.
Then be my ally.
Why?
Because I am the only one who can help you destroy the Nightmare Tyrant and avenge your death.
No, I don't want your help.
Please.
Said Discord.
For the sake of the nightmare realm.
I see.
Said Shadow Weaver.
Well, you can go too. Goodbye.
Wait,
Said Dimitrescu.
you must have the blood shard.
No,
Said Shadow Weaver.
I hate the Nightmare Tyrant as much as you do, and I'm not going to help him destroy you.
Then you must have the power to destroy me.
Said Dimitrescu.
Please.
Said Discord.
Give it to her.
No,
Said Shadow Weaver.
I can't do that.
If you don't give it to me,
Said Dimitrescu.
I'm going to destroy you and claim the blood shard for myself.
You can't do that.
Said Shadow Weaver, preparing to use her dark magic to stop Dimitrescu.
Watch me. Shoot.
Dimitrescu raised her ghostly hand and cast a beam of negative energy at Shadow Weaver, which the sorceress easily blocked.
You can't possibly defeat me.
Said Dimitrescu.
I'm the most powerful ghost in the Nightmare Realm.
Shadow Weaver laughed.
Power is not the issue.
She said.
I'd love to see you attempt to take the blood shard from me.
Ladies, please.
Discord interjected.
There's no need for more bloodshed. Give the stone to Fluttershy.
Said Dimitrescu.
You want me to give the blood shard to a mortal?
Yes, a mortal.
Said Shadow Weaver.
One who can become the Nightmare Tyrant.
Please.
Fine.
Dimitrescu sighed.
I suppose we're throwing our full weight behind her.
Thank you. She has a good friend in you.
Said Shadow Weaver, giving Dimitrescu a quick friendly hug.
Thanks.
Said Dimitrescu.
Now,
Said Shadow Weaver.
take the stone in your teeth. It'll give you a little more mobility.
Yes. Thank you.
Said Dimitrescu, taking the stone. The trio followed after Fluttershy, tracing her path into the Nightmare Realm. In the Nightmare Realm, shadows are the predominant form of movement, and the Nightmare Tyrant had many of them. Said a voice behind Fluttershy.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Waluigi.
Said Fluttershy, turning around.
I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah. Naming.
Said Waluigi, awkwardly.
This is my friend, Discord, and this is also Dimitrescu, and of course, this is the Shadow Weaver. We're here to help you with the Nightmare Tyrant problem.
said Waluigi.
Yes?
Said Fluttershy.
You called for help, remember?
Nice, my lady. So you are not the current corridor.
Fluttershy smirked.
Yes, I am.
No, you are
Said Waluigi.
I admit it.
Said Fluttershy.
Well then, why do you think you make the surprise you could be bigger. You mean
I'm not a coward.
Said Fluttershy, turning her head away from Waluigi.
I'm probably one of the bravest ponies in my class.
Said Waluigi.
Really, the first one. Who's that word to describe yourself, eh? Well, yeah, let's get them. So, are you ready? You're Jewish. Yes.
Yes?
So, you may have noticed, I've decided to leave out the little openings I've been doing throughout the first couple seasons of this series. My hope is that they'll make the videos like a little bit easier to just jump into if you just have the story going right away instead of me explaining what it is every time. Hopefully by now, if anyone's watching season 3 of this, they have an idea of how this is made and what it is. But I figure if anyone does want to hear my thoughts on the individual chapters, they'll probably be sticking around to the end anyway, so I'll just put all of it here now. So, originally, Fluttershy's group was going to have her own chapter or two, like all the other groups of characters in Season 2, but while I was writing them, the AI just kind of kept presenting me with more story, and it just kind of felt like I would need at least like 4 parts to make the whole thing work. So I decided instead I would just make this Season 3. So we're going to be following Fluttershy for a while as she deals with the Nightmare Realm, the Nightmare Tyrant, and all of that. But there will be other characters coming in, and we will see the other groups come back in. And we won't be following exclusively Fluttershy every chapter of the whole season. I am very excited to share this season with you all, though I think there's a lot of really fun moments in the parts that I've already had AI Dungeon generate. And I really enjoy seeing Fluttershy in this Nightmare Queen role. It's just very different than how she is in the source material. So I hope you all join me next time as we see them explore the Nightmare Realm. And if you happen to miss the previous chapter, here's a clip.
My name is Ida.
Ida.
Said the dragon.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. We all assumed you were consumed by the Nightmare Tyrant.
I thought you might like that name. It's a beautiful name, and it means a star. It's like the star that shines on the sky. But you can call me Ida.
I am a dragon.
Said the dragon.